Hey guys, Stilt here and welcome back to Transport Fever, where last week, in case you missed it, we now have airports. And not just that, but these are actually quite profitable airports. I have a couple of these, what were they, the DC-3 I think? These are actually making me decent money. So much so that I'm considering upgrading this line to include better aircraft. Especially the Harpoon Joburg line. At the moment, still has some of these very, very old, what are they, I think, Junker aircraft? Is that a Junkers or a Merkur? I think it's a Merkur. I'm going to upgrade those to the Douglas DC-3 as well, simply because these things are faster and can carry more passengers. And while it might not look the part yet, some of these aircraft lines are actually making me a good portion of money. Right now, Harpoon doesn't have too many people waiting here. But the same cannot be said for this airport, where a lot of people are waiting to go to Harpoon. And Harpoon, interestingly, is just a short hop across the water. So these people are far more interested in taking an aircraft from one side to the next, and look at how much cash these things bring in. They're far more interested in taking an aircraft across than just taking the ferry and going by boat, which, of course, is a longer route. Or at least it's going to take you more time. Let's see, Joburg Wishbone isn't as popular. Or is it? Yeah, see, these things come in big chunks. We do have another one waiting to go to Wishbone. And my aircraft cannot fit that many people. They can only fit 8. And at the moment we have 19 people waiting. Yeah, that's one of those older aircraft. We're going to have to replace these guys. Vehicles, replace with the Douglas DC-3. I want you to replace now. So the next time he lands, he's going to get replaced. And where is our other old aircraft? I think that would be you. Automatic vehicle replacement on. I want you to be a DC-3 and I want you to replace just this vehicle now. There goes another 700k. Now this should allow a few more passengers on these aircraft, and as such, by the sense that they're flying faster, also make the waiting time a little lower, which might again further improve revenue. See, now we're getting somewhere. Looks like I also need to upgrade this particular aircraft. Replace now. Of course, I'm burning cash like crazy, but I think that we can get these aircraft quite profitable. We also have another one. I think that is... Nope, there's still one more. Unfortunately, I cannot afford that at the moment. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit before I can actually afford that. Anyway, look at the amount of people here. Harpoon Joburg. I'm going to have to set up far more aircraft there. Now I could upgrade this one to have multiple terminals. Not so much multiple aircraft, multiple runways. I don't have aircraft which have multiple runways yet. It's still 1941. It's like those things haven't been invented yet. By the time that they are, I'll definitely look for an upgrade, because as you can see, currently the runway is doing alright, but I imagine that further down the line we could have multiple aircraft waiting for landing, and that is going to cause a bit of a bottleneck. Anyway, Joburg still has only a 4% transport rating, so despite the fact that they can now take aircraft and hop across the water to Harpoon, Spitalflat and potentially Duck Pond, it is still not very much up to their expectations of transport. Let's have a look. What could the problem be? The Joburg ferry bus, that's the external ferry, or that's the external one, it goes all the way over there. The other one we have is a tram. It arrives every 4 minutes, but there simply aren't too many people waiting there. That might have to do with the fact that right now there is only the ferry and the airport. There's no other ways to get out of town. If I were to set up a bus line between Joburg and Harpoon, we might see more people going there. Because maybe they just don't like having to take a boat transfer here. Anyway, aircraft. Look at that, 500,000 and change. Alright, let's upgrade that last aircraft. Joburg Wishbone. Some people waiting on this end. Let's check the other side. Yep, definitely more people waiting here. Okay, you're gonna get replaced. Replace now, pay 600k, done. Right, I'm spending a lot of money, but despite all that, I'm still making a decent portion. Because look here, income, about 5 million this year, 5.39 last year, and I think we can more or less break our record from last year. Most of that came by road. 1.57 million came by air, and that has increased by 300k this year. I stand corrected, 500k this year. So it seems that the aircraft are doing quite well. There we go. Despite the fact that I spent 3 million, I actually made 54k. And yep, these airlines are definitely doing quite good. Now Harpoon Joburg, despite the fact that most of these aircraft are filled to capacity, I'm not really happy with the amount of money that they're bringing in. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. Because they do have enough people waiting. Harpoon Joburg has more than one aircraft can carry. And over here, there's definitely more than one aircraft can carry. There's 22 people. Whereas one aircraft, the DC-3, can only carry 8. So it should be enough. Anyway, as you can tell, it's starting to look like a very busy runway. As Harpoon Wishbone comes in, and the next one is Harpoon Joburg. This is definitely an aircraft or an airfield that's going to need upgrading. And Harpoon Wishbone. Let's see, that's one of them. Is that another one? Oh, never mind, he just took off. Also, lots and lots of people waiting here. I think it might be time to start upgrading these particular connections. Spittal Flat, the airport, and Harpoon Bay. I think I'm gonna have to go with a train. There are simply too many people waiting here. Doesn't mean I'll delete the bus line, but I'm going to have sort of a side grade or another alternative for these people to use. The challenge is going to be to get this airport connected to the train station. Because I can not exactly put a train here. Oh, how are we going to do this? I could have a train going from Spittal Flats to a terminal line here. And then loop around the airfield. And build another train station here at Harpoon. That could work. It's going to get quite expensive. But it's the only option I see. Because if I build a train station here... The game would let me zoom in. Here... it will be covered... Well, does it? Barely. Yeah, no, I think it does cover the airport. The problem is getting through these houses. That's going to be rather expensive, or I need to build a tunnel. Which is even worse. Anyway, people are looking to go via main road. Which is that again? That's Green Line. So yeah, we have 45 people waiting to go back here. And these people waiting to go to main road. Main road's this way. Queensway is the other way here. Mosquito Bay. Which actually has a 32% transport rating. That's not bad for such a small town. Interesting. And it's also seemed to have grown quite a bit. Look at all the new houses that these people have been constructing around this depot. Actually, it's grown so much that I barely cover the whole town. Okay, we're going to have to look into that later. For now, let's build a train station, and one that's going to survive the ages. So I want to have a double train station. Let's say 160 meter length. High speed. 2nd Street connection. Actually make that 200 meters. We could be seeing large trains come up on this train track. We're going to park that here. Let's line it up. Of course, we're going to have to add a bus line to that. Unfortunately, the buses right now don't include this station yet, but I could have them deviate from this train station, or sorry, from this bus stop to here, and then potentially back, and then continue on the route. It's not the most efficient route though, but whatever. Now, if I want to build a train track through here, oh, yeah, sure, just keep building as I want to build my train station. Damn it. How are we going to fit this in? See, right now it barely covers it. Train station's too long. No, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to have a terminal station here. See, this does cover the airport. And we're going to line these things up. Yeah, you would like that. Look at these contractors trying to screw me out of a whole bunch of money. It's nice to have cash in this game. It's nice to have cash in general, come to think of it. Let's see. Wanted to come in on one track and head out on the other one. So we're going to have to set up a crossing. Because this is just the train track that connects it to the airport, but I also want to have a train station on this side of Harpoon Bay, which is far more easily accessible by the occupants here, or by the residents of Harpoon Bay. So we're going to have one here, and it's going to be a bit of a loop around, but I think it can be done. Let's see. That's one. Can we still do the other one? Yeah, we can. How do I want this? I want them to come in on the right side of the tracks. So they're going to park themselves on this track, and then I want them to continue on the right side of the track. Yeah, I'm going to have another crossover point. Oh, hang on. This one's lined up a little bit too sharply. Now, I know that these trains won't be able to make good speed. I mean, 75, 74. It's no surprise there. Ooh, new aircraft. Douglas DC-4. How many people do we have waiting? 21. What kind of DC-4 transport? 15! That's twice the load of one DC-3. Sure, they're twice as expensive to run per year. They also cost me twice as much. And their speed is not that much better. Never mind. Okay, Duck Pond also seems to be growing, up to the point where a train station might actually become profitable. Now, I'm not too motivated to continue on with the tracks past Duck Pond, because over here, the terrain becomes, well, I suppose you could call it hostile. It's going to get rather tricky to build a train station through there, so we're going to have a terminal station in Duck Pond. And let's see, terminal station... Oh crap, terrain alignment's going to be terrible here. Holy, look at that. I've paid as much for an airport as I have for this train station. 400, no thanks. Would a standard one be cheaper? Yeah, that's still not ideal, but I can live with that. Alright, hook it up. Same goes for this one, actually. Alright, and then connect these two together. 256. Get out of here. Let's see if we can get that slightly cheaper. Oh, not by much. And I also need to pay an eye, or pay attention to this terrain alignment. I think we can make it work. In the meanwhile, money is flowing in. I'm at 9 million. Whereas at the start of the episode, I was at, well, I think close to 0 as I was upgrading most of my aircraft. Okay. Let's set up a crossover section here. And same is going to have to be done here. Alright. We're going to have to add some signaling to this. And I wonder how clever these trains are going to be. I wonder if they figure out that I want them on the right side of the tracks. Especially this side is going to be very interesting to find. And I'm not sure if people are going to be taking the train over the bus. I think they will take the train because it's going to be faster. Especially as more and more people get cars, you're going to find that trains generally have fewer delays than buses. As the buses, at least I wouldn't be surprised, are going to get jammed into traffic here. Let's see. I might extend this one further. I'm not too likely to extend it here. So I could have a depot on this end, but the terrain alignment is terrible. Let's have a depot somewhere halfway. So they're going to be moving out that way. And they're going to be heading out that way. Does that line up? Does it? No, it doesn't. Clearly. Gotta give these things a lot of time to maneuver. Can we do it like this then? Does that line up? It does. Okay, and add a depot here. Turn it around. Done. Actually, a couple of these train stations at the moment are not connected to the main bus line, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. I can have tram go through Harpoon Bay and then drop off people at this train station. Look at that, it's getting busy on the runway. So we're going to have to do some upgrading for the roads. Bus lane, yes. Electrical, yes. Upgrade. So this part is going to have to be electrified for sure. This part's going to have to be electrified. Can we make a loop? Starting here, going around, going through, maybe taking a trip a little bit further south. See, I have cash to burn. I have 11.5 million, so I can probably make this into a proper line right from the get-go. Let's finish off this part and upgrade it. There. Okay, so this is going to be the internal line for Harpoon. Starting at Queensway, just to make things extra confusing. Going to Green Lane. I can add an extra stop here, but I'm not sure if that's necessary, because this thing covers most, if not all, of the town. Then we're going to go to King's Road. I'll have an extra stop here to make it more convenient for people. And an extra one here, because I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see more population on that end. So this is a new line. Line 1. We were adding Green Lane, going to King's Road, going to Victoria Road, and actually after Queensway I want you to hit up Windsor Road. And this is a clockwise line. So this is the Harpoon tram. Of course we're going to have to add a depot. And let's have 2 trams on this particular line. Harpoon tram, off you go. I'm going to start out with 1, just to get a little bit of demand going here. We're going to have to do the same thing for Spittle Flat. So upgrading. I might be able to just include this ferry. Ah, crap, the road doesn't connect. I thought the game would have figured out how to do that by now, but apparently no such thing. Oh shit, I need to include this bus stop. Then you're... Oops. Sorry. Alright, that should do. Build a new split off over here. Connect it up. I need to electrify this particular section. Can they make it there? Yeah, I think they can. Okay, good. Can we upgrade it further? Not really. Okay. So this is called Spittle Flat. You're going to start out at the train station, High Street, go to the drive, Upper Spittle Flat, come back through Main Road, and that should cover it. So this is Spittle Flat Tram. Again, I like a depot here. We're going to have a tram. And you're going to be joining. Come on, here you go. Spittle Flat Tram. Oh right, we had an experimental line somewhere. Spittle Flat Bus Ferry Experimental. How many passengers are on here? See, I think that this bus line is now going to start to compete with the tram line, which I don't want. So I'm going to tell all of these vehicles to bug out and just completely delete that line. Right, do we have... Yeah, we have one of them. How's Harpoon doing? Nobody's interested in taking the tram. Yet. Well, I can imagine that because the trains aren't running yet. So that might explain why they're not too interested in taking this thing yet. How about here? I need to electrify these roads. I like actually how this town is set up. I'm going to include some of these newer parts of the town. And let's see if we can build a duck pond entirely around the pond. I think that would be fitting. There. Now there aren't any people living here yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to show up eventually. Right, set up the routes. Start here. Go to Main Road, go to South Street, go to Windsor Road, and go to Grove Street. Sorry, Grove Road. This is Duck Pond Tram. And Duck Pond Tram is going to end at the tram depot. Off you go. Next up, the trains. Now for the real test. Do these things understand what I want them to do? Stations 1 and 3 are not connected. Correct. Because I need you to head back to Harpoon Bay. Okay, so they... Let's go from the start. They move from here all the way south on the right side of the tracks, so that's correct. They stop... Oh, I forgot one. After Harpoon Bay, I need you to visit Upper Harpoon Bay. Then... Hang on. Just trash everything. Start here. Move there. Move to the airport. Move back. Go back to the airport. Go back to Upper Harpoon Bay. And it seems that the game is in fact clever enough to find exactly where I want these trains to go. Perfect. That makes my life a lot easier. Okay, so now that we have the trains, I want to include the buses on these bus stops. So that's going to take a little bit of work. It's number, I think it's between 6 and 7. Are you stop 6? Yeah, you're stop 6. Okay, so after stop 6, I want you to visit Queensway and then go to Main Road. And after you visited number 24, Main Road, I want you to visit Queensway again. And then go back to King's Road, so that fits. That's one train station. I'm not going to visit this one because it's too far off the main course of that bus. I don't want to send them all the way through here. Oh, somebody took the tram. And down here, this one is already visited by the bus. That's High Street. This one again is too far off course. You're going to have to rely on the tram in order to take them there. So the buses are now properly set up. Let's send out the trains. I'm going to have, well... yeah, we're going to have a couple of red arrows running around first. Because these things are nice and cheap, 1.7 million each. And they're fast, 125 kph. They don't transport too many people, but I first want to see what sort of demand there's going to be for these particular trains, as they are going to compete with the bus line. Let's rename this. This is Duck Pond, Duck with a D, Duck Pond to Spittle Flat. Let's add one more, because time is only, or is 5 minutes between them. 3 minutes. Let's see if I can push that down a little bit more. And I think that with these trains, we're potentially going to see a little bit more demand for the trams, as the trams now actually serve a purpose. Feeding into the train station. Look at that. One person already waiting. New vehicle available. This is the newest train. I guess they want to go the other way. Yeah, they want to go to Duck Pond. Makes sense. I wonder if you're going to see these numbers decrease as people figure out, like, hey, the train might be faster than the bus. But I'm going to have both. I'm going to have both the main bus line and the tram. Sorry, the train. Because these things are earning me quite a lot of money. So far, train 1 hasn't brought in any money yet. Some people waiting in Duck Pond. Again, if I feed in more trams onto these loops, I think we're going to see more people on these trains pretty soon. 15k. That's a start. And right now you already carry 7 passengers. Now I think that going with the... Oh, look at that, they're also taking the train here. Going with the first option of buses and only later on developing a train line probably saved me a lot of cash. I think though that they're waiting a little bit too long at one station. Alright, let's add another Type T1. This is no, that's actually Spittle Flat. And I also want to have a counterclockwise line, just because that always reduces the load on these trams. Let's see, here, there, the drive, and back. Spittle Flat, counterclockwise, tram. Other way around. Tram, counterclockwise. Type T1. Counterclockwise. Good luck. 13 people. Look at you go. Already made 102k. I like it. Let's do the same thing here. Because at the moment Harpoon only has a one-way. And we're going to make that 2 ways. This is the counterclockwise line. It won't reach the airport. I could do that. Now they can reach the airport. Which means people get to choose whether they want to go there to the airport by bus or by train. sorry, by tram. So after Green Lane, you're going to visit High Street, and then you're going to swing around to Windsor Road and back to Queensway. Harpoon with a P, tram counterclockwise. And yes, I will have to upgrade the other line as well. Harpoon tram counterclockwise. Where's the trams? Harpoon tram. After Windsor Road, I need you to visit this one, High Street, and then go back to Green Lane. Perfect. What do we have waiting here? One person waiting for the tram, look at that. But there's a competition here. The Harpoon Transport Bus. It is making me some money, but I don't want it to compete. So we're going to delete that line. Let's add another to the counterclockwise. And I think this is the clockwise? No, it's the counterclockwise. You're the clockwise. Which? Really? Sorry, what sort of route are you taking? Victoria... Hang on. Apparently this part is not connected. That's a bit neglectful. There we go, that's better. I thought, why the hell is that thing turning around? Alright, you're going on Harpoon Tram. That should... yep, 2 on 2. And so far we're still not seeing too many people waiting for the tram, but the Harpoon counterclockwise tram is definitely doing better. Perfect. Train station still working up its demand probably. 3 people, 1 person. How are the airports doing? 28 waiting to go to Joburg. Okay. Okay, let's get a Douglas DC-4. Just for the fun of it. So you guys are waiting to go to Joburg, correct? Yep. Harpoon, Joburg. Big engines, or big aircraft. They're all landing on the dirt strip. Oh, this is glorious. Look at that. I'm definitely going to have to build a bigger airport here eventually. Unfortunately, there's no room for a second landing strip. So that could be a problem. Okay, I cannot really add more aircraft here, because every moment that an aircraft spends waiting is a moment that the aircraft's not bringing in money. So I'm going to have to look into either having maybe even a second airport, or seeing if I can move the airport maybe over here and have a 2-strip one eventually. Anyway, sorry if that's a bit loud, come to think of it. Look at the beautiful skybox there. Coming round, coming round, coming round. This is not it. Costs me 300k in a year. New ship. Ships, actually. The Viola and the Axalp. And a couple of new options for... is that a new train? The rail bus? I'll have to look into that. Anyway, it's on final approach. Aircraft 12. And by the looks of it, there are plenty of people waiting here to get taken back to Harpoon. Show me your money. And there's again a new load of passengers readying up. 192. See, if you can make 2 trips a year, maybe 3, you can cover your own ass. If you do more, you're gonna make me money. Good. Alright, let's check on the train for a final time this episode. It's making me a tiny portion of money. Okay. That just went up by 200k. If only my bank account did the same. Looks alright. I wonder, is it competing with the bus? It's... well, maybe a little bit. But I think both, at the moment, are doing fine. And the new vehicle that I could buy was, in fact, the rail bus. 90 kph, which means they are slower than the Red Arrow. They can carry almost as many people. Lifespan is still 40 years, but their running costs are less than half. Interesting. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'd say another bit of progress, as we have a new train line, a couple of tram lines in these towns, and I think that the towns overall are doing quite well for transport. 47% here, 51% there, 37% there, and Joburg has managed to go up to 12% from the standard, or from the previous 4 at the start of the episode. And of course, Mosquito Bay, I haven't touched it this episode, but it's definitely growing. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week for the next episode. Catch you then.